Good. Well, just in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. Just going to make sure we're all signed in. Happy Friday, everyone. The weather's brightened up. For me, it has anyway. I hope everyone's enjoying a bit of sunshine. Let's just give it another few more seconds while people sign up. Thanks for making time to do this today. I think we're blaming the AWS shenanigans earlier on in the week for us not being able to run this earlier. So I appreciate you making the time. I think we're about there, so we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Oh, thanks for coming. My name's Matt. I'm the MD at BIMA, and I'm here just to tell you a little bit about Digital Day, because we've got a mixture of companies that are members of BIMA, predominantly agencies, and also some schools on the webinar today. And it's just a bit of a briefing call to make sure that yourselves and also the students, of course, can get the most out of the day. I just talked through a few basic guidelines, really, and things that you can expect from the day itself. Some of you would have done it before, but please feel free to make it as interactive as you can. This is a webinar format, so I can't see you, so you can't heckle me, but you can ask questions. So the wonderful Louise is monitoring the chat for me. There you go, she's in there now. So you could use the chat function or the Q&A if you've got any sort of logisticy type questions. Please do ask away. I'm not sure how long this is in for, but I reckon we're going to be done in about 15, 20 minutes tops, so we can get our afternoon back and go and have some lunch. So Digital Day itself. Digital Day is run as part of the Attract pillar for BIMA. And if you're not fully aware of BIMA, hopefully this just helps give a bit of context as to why we do this. So BIMA is an acronym. It stands for the British Interactive Media Association. We're a not-for-profit, a bit like a trade association. And we're actually 40 this year. So we've been representing UK digital and tech since 1985. And we do what feels like a million things for a million people. We run conferences, awards, we run training, and we try and support the industry as best we can. We split it into 3 pillars. And one of the main pillars that we've got is called the Attract pillar. So a large remit of BIMA is to try and make the industry attractive and create pathways for everyone to come and kind of have a successful and enjoyable career in our industry. And if you think of it as like a chronological timeline, Digital Day is the thing that starts it off. So we'll have internships and work experience and finding people jobs as further as they go older. But Digital Day is our kind of our flagship product, if you like. And here's why we do it, because there's an important sort of time frame around secondary school, especially year 8 and 10, when they're at a pivotal point and they're deciding what to do for their GCSEs or what to do post GCSEs. And the research is pretty consistent. It's evolving a bit year on year, but essentially, to simplify the whole thing, if we walk into a school out of nowhere and ask 15-year-olds about a career in digital, they still quite often use the phrase coding. And I think a lot of them just think we're just a huge community of software developers. No, that's fine. That's part of what we do. We do so much more, but it gets a really binary response because software developing, software engineers, you're kind of interested or you're not. Used to be quite a difference in the gender response as well. Boys were sort of interested, girls were sort of not. That's changing every year. Our research shows that. So that's brilliant news. But what we want to do is to inspire them just to think about what a career in digital is like through Digital Day. So we want to broaden their horizons beyond just software developers and coding and think about problem solving through innovation. Because in our industry, you can be a data strategist, you can be a graphic designer, you can work in client services, you can work in AI, lots and lots of different things. And we just want to trigger some interest and inspiration for them to think about the industry a little bit more. That's the point of Digital Day. We've been doing it, I think, for 12 to 15 years. And we go into over 100 schools in one day every year. Logistically, it's a nightmare, but it's a lot of fun. So thank you for taking the time to do it. You're here because you're going into a school or you are from a school that's hosting it next month. I'm just going to give you a few guidelines on what to expect and how to get the most from the day. I don't have slides to show you. I'm just going to talk through it. But as I said, please do ask questions as I go through and we'll answer them as best we can. So one of the key things with Digital Day, it would be a lot easier if we could just do it virtually and we just set up a Zoom call and all of the schools signed in. But we do a survey every year And it's kind of unanimous feedback in the school say, no, it's much, much better when you send people in and the students can actually meet people that have the variety of jobs. That's why we go through this huge process of matching BIMA members with schools in a sort of similar geographical area. So we've been doing that since about March or April. And we've matched hundreds of you to go into the school. And it's really, really important that we do find as many people to go into the schools as possible, because it's those people that go into the schools that hopefully inspire the students as well as just taking part in the day itself. So you should have had your match by now. You're probably getting some emails from somebody called Adam prompting you to make contact with your school or your agency. It's just general logistic stuff that needs to happen about now. I go in every year. I was emailing my school just this morning because I was reminded by this webinar coming up. So, okay, can you remind me, have you got any parking? What lessons, what periods will we start? We're going to do 9:30 to 2:45. They need some dietary requirements for lunch. I love sitting in the canteens with all the kids and the teachers. Sometimes you get to go in the staff room. All of those things, please make sure you're in contact with your school or your agency and get those logisticy things done. Some schools require a DBS, not all of them do, but just check that in as well. So that's the kind of thing that should be taking place at the moment. Get those logistics done and introduce yourself to your match, either the agency or the school. If you're at a school, you should have received an email by now. It's a deck of what will show in the room. So again, referencing my conversation this morning, I was asking about the room that we're going in. Do the students have access to computers? Is there a large screen to me present from? That's kind of really important, that there is a large screen to present from. It doesn't matter so much if the students have computers or not. So that's happened. So I know from this morning that there's parking available, that I'm going to get lunch. I've no dietary requirements. I know my partner that's going in with me. The deck's arrived at the school. And I know that there's a room with computers. So I'm kind of all set up and I know what to expect. And then on the day when you arrive, here's what it looks like. So going back to school is always a lot of fun. Just make sure you've got your security checks and all of that. Then this teacher for the school should have the slide deck ready when you go in. And that's there for you and act as your itinerary for the day. Now, the best way we find to inspire the students to think about a career in digital is to make it practical and hands-on. I don't think it would really work. We never tried it, but if the companies just go in and talk about their jobs. So it's very practical, it's hands-on, and we do it by asking them to work on a live brief. And every year we have a selection of briefs that come in from really friendly clients. This year, thanks to our sponsors at EPAM, we've got HelloFresh and Aston Martin that have provided what is the live brief. So the day essentially is a bit like a role play for a digital agency. So I would usually just say, look, we're an agency. We'll have graphic designers in the agency. We'll have data strategists. We'll have researchers. You'll all pick your role. You've all got specific skills, but we're problem solving through innovation. And here's the problem. Here's the brief that we've got from our client. Now, there are two briefs and the students can select whatever brief they want to work on. Ideally, there's a nice mixture and you can kind of share it out. If everybody does HelloFresh or everybody does Aston Martin, it kind of skews it a bit. So break the students up into groups and they select their brief that they want to work on. There are videos from each of the staff that work for Aston Martin and HelloFresh that will introduce the brief, and it's a basic rundown of what their challenge is and what they want the students to work on. Then the process is built into 3 stages: discover, design, and deliver. So this is all in the deck that you've got. Discover is the work, the research phase. Quite often, anybody, never mind students of that age, they go straight into the idea. But it's really good to get them to think about the brand, think about their competitors, think about market conditions, think about any kind of insights that they might get. And if they've got access to computers in the room, like, it's a really good idea that they go on there and they explore and they type in the competitors and they get a feel for the industry. That's your discover phase, and design is when they start to bring it to life. So at the end of the discovery phase, with a bit of help from the teachers and the agencies, an idea should be surfacing from that. Quite often you get 80% of them want to design an app, and it's quite nice to give them a bit of guidance and think beyond that, think about immersive technologies, AI, all of those other things that we have in our industry. So when some ideas start to surface from discover, that's when we design them. And that's when we need to bring it to life on paper. You'll have a big fold out sheets that will be delivered in the next week or two, and to get all the students to workshop and bring their ideas to life on that document. That's the fun bit. That's my favorite bit. And the third stage is deliver. And delivery is about presenting essentially back to the rest of the class. And it fills some of them with absolute fright. Some of them are the most amazing speakers, but it's really important, I think, that we get them to do this. So in the last third of the day, please ask all of your groups to present their ideas back to the class. So that's essentially your kind of role play scenario. I think it usually helps if you describe that to them and say, look, today we're going to be an agency. Get them to come up with a name for their agency, and also get them to think about the different skill sets that they have. So you might have somebody that's more data led. You might have somebody that's interested in coding. You might have somebody that's more design led, and they all bring their skills and their what they enjoy most into the team. And then at the end of it, when they're presenting, we'll ask the agency and the teacher to select your winner. Please select your winner of both briefs. So we have a winner for HelloFresh, and we have a winner for Aston Martin. Those winners will then be sent in to us. We've got a two-stage judging process, stage one, and then stage two, the actual clients get involved, and we pick one winner for each brand at the end, and the school wins. I think it's a financial reward, and usually HelloFresh or Aston Martin will give us something as well. That is essentially it. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but basically there's a match. You're going into the school. The job is to inspire the students. So talk about your role, talk about what you do in the industry, and then make it hands-on, make it interactive. Work on the two briefs, HelloFresh, Aston Martin. They can select whichever one that they want. Work on the big the fold out sheets in groups, usually of anything from 3 to 5 students in each group. Then you've got discover, design, deliver. And then at the end of it, you select a winner. Another really important thing that I cannot forget, the reason that this is successful is because we run some research every year. We run a post-digital day survey, and also a pre-digital day survey and a post-digital day survey. So please, please, please do ask your students to complete that, because we get a really good feel for the impact that the day's making, and we can tweak it thereafter. So before they start digital day, please ask them to complete the survey, and also same again once they've finished. Now, I can see the chat being very busy, and there are lots of questions. So I'm going to go through some of them where I can. Do they choose the same brief if it's just 2 teams? So that's from Gemma. You could do, if you've just got 2 teams, ideally, we'd have one from each, and you've got a better chance of winning, one for Aston Martin, one for HelloFresh. But the most important thing is that the students enjoy the day. So if you've only got 2 teams and they both want to do one brief, I think that's absolutely fine. The main thing is that they do what they want to do and they get the most from it. The criteria for the judging and judging the deliver phase, it's usually based, we'll send that out to you. I think it's creativity, innovation, and there's one other criteria. I'll have to double check on that. So that's Polly. Polly will send that out on a post-webinar email, the criteria which you can use to pick your winners. It's the same criteria that we use and the clients use to pick the national winners as well. So another one, we have a small class, just 10. Shall we split into do both briefs? So, Gemma, I think I've covered that one. Yeah, just do 2 briefs. It doesn't matter if they do the same one. How many children per group do you recommend? I would say 3 to 5 is good. Any more than that, and it gets a little bit tricky, and they work quite well in 3 to 5, but and split them up. Okay. Agency going to school, can you elaborate on the security check side of things? They're different. So David, it varies from each school. So please just check with your school. So for example, the school I'm going into this year, ideally, I have a DBS check and I can bring that in, but it's not essential because we'll be with teachers throughout the whole day. We're never on our own in the school at any point. So the person I'm going in with doesn't have one, and we're able to, but every school's different. So just check with your school if that's okay. I think we're kind of answering most of the questions. Kate has 72 students. That's a lot, Kate. So we might do bigger teams. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Just make it work however you can. Hopefully you've got more than one or two people coming in to help you with 72 students. The briefs are now at the printers. Oh, there you go. Louise is answering them all. Bit weird just chatting away without slides to people that you can't see, but I hope this is useful. But you can always contact us as well. You'll be getting regular emails from somebody called Adam prompting you what to do and what not to do. Okay. Right, there are challenges also on the deck. Louise is busy answering all the questions. This is fantastic. I think that's it. There's no need for me to fill the void anymore. Hopefully you've got the basics, but the key thing is, yeah, role play, have some fun, be a digital agency, and it's problem solving through innovation, not just coding. I really appreciate everybody taking part to do this. We get through to thousands and thousands of students every year. And when the survey shows that this really makes an impact and they want to explore the industry a little bit further, that is the ultimate thing. That's all we're trying to do here, is to inspire them to think about what it might be like to come and work in the industry. Happy Friday, everyone. Go and enjoy the sun. Thank you.